of questions still loom on this firefighter union deal. Yeah, the deal forward's done, but what are they going to do going backwards?
The Dan York State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
Welcome in year 2 of the new year. Now, you're going to have to, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to watch the show. It's all your option. But if you're going to watch the show, I'm like telling people, Ken, what they have to do. It's like, it's going to be frustrating because I used to put the glasses on and off all the time. And then I got the, what do you call them? The glasses that see far and wide, and
bifocals.
No, not bifocals. But what? There's another term for them. Paul, what's the other term for them? No, the progressives.
Oh.
There's no take twos on this program, by the way. So anyway, I went to the doctor, and he said, look, you got issues. You need contacts for this stuff, and you're going to keep your cheaters. Well, my progressives I left in the office, in the radio on Friday. So I got these cheap, buy them at not even as good enough as Ocean State Job Lot. So I'm going to be up, and I can't see anything because I can't get my contacts in. It took me an hour and a half at the doctor's office to learn how to take them out and put them in, and since then I haven't been successful at all. My wife is convinced that my eyes are too small. Okay, that's the latest, so I'll keep you up to date with that. So when I can actually see you, because right now I'm looking in the camera, you can see me, but I can promise I can barely see you. I'll let you know. So it's going to be a little bit of a Playhouse 90 going on here. Anyway, Paul Doughty is my guest, friend of the program, good citizen, Providence Firefighter Union President, and I got questions about what it's going to cost us to actually make this deal whole, because guess what? Nobody's really talking about that. In the meantime, let us go to the Newsmaker line, and I can almost see you in this camera. It's bad. Meryl Bates Trump. Yes, she does. Headlines on this. See, the Los Angeles Times thinks it was a powerful act of political defiance. I wonder if Meryl Streep understands that sometimes the general public, not the people having very expensive dinner in front of her, but the general public really just wanted to shut up and act. Of course, Donald has to react because Donald has to react. Here's the latest.
Hollywood is crawling with outsiders and foreigners. And if we kick them all out, you'll have nothing to watch but football and mixed martial arts.
Meryl Streep was decidedly political during her acceptance speech for the Cecil B. DeMille Award at the Golden Globes. She mentioned what she called a real-life performance last year that left her stunned.
It was that moment when the person asking to sit in the most respected seat in our country imitated a disabled reporter, someone he outranked in privilege, power, and the capacity to fight back.
The president-elect fired back Monday morning, calling the 3-time Oscar winner one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood and a Hillary flunky who lost big. He also denied Streep's charge that he mocked the reporter.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Host Jimmy Fallon also lobbed a steady stream of Mr. Trump jokes in his opening monologue.
This is the Golden Globes, one of the few places left where America still honors the popular vote. But
even British actor Hugh Laurie teased that he won his Golden Globe at the last ever ceremony by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
I don't mean to be gloomy, it's just that it has the words Hollywood Foreign and Press in the title. I just don't know what.
In an interview with the New York Times, Mr. Trump said he did not watch the Golden Globes, but he was not surprised he was attacked by, quote, liberal movie people.
All right, you want to run a contest on who's worse here? For some reason, we have just come to the expectation that the culture of Hollywood awards programs will just give platform for people to make political commentary. Hey, listen, the First Amendment is for everybody. Platforms are, well, Facebook and social media have become, this is why, by the way, everyone acts out on social media. Because everybody sees this and says, well, I have my own platform now, and so I'll just spout off whatever ridiculousness I can on social media. Meryl Streep abused her platform last night. I may agree with what she said, but she abused the platform. And then, of course, the president-elect can't keep his panties straight. I mean, his panties are in a bundle all the time. He's defensive, and he'll lash out against anybody. And this is the way it's going to be for the rest of the term. Term, at the most, I think. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of the term, the Providence Journal reminds us with this headline, I thought this was kind of interesting, plum jobs, the number of jobs, there are thousands and thousands of jobs out there that fill up the federal vacancies that are created when a transition occurs. And the interesting thing in Rhode Island is that all the Democratic power has no juice with Donald Trump. And so I think there'll be some kind of pathway where even our Democratic congressional leadership will have some input into some of the key positions that are filled here in Rhode Island federally, like U.S. Attorney and the like. But if it ends up being Brandon Bell, the GOP chairman, and Scott Avedisian, the mayor of Warwick, and Alan Fung, the mayor of Cranston, who are now the power, oh, don't forget Joe Trillo, the chairperson for Trump in Rhode Island. There's Alan Fung, of course. If it ends up being those guys are actually the go-to guys connected to the Trump team, it's going to be chaos around here. Oh well, it'll be interesting, but it'll be chaos. Speaking of a little bit of chaos, this marijuana thing is kind of fascinating. And Nick Mattiello over the weekend on the Newsmakers program with Tim White and Ted Nesi offered kind of an interesting non-response response when it comes to the question of whether or not pot, recreational pot, will be made legal by the legislature this year. The headline here kind of covers the base of all the conversations that go on with campaigns and then action at the General Assembly. But listen to the speaker.
The House of Representatives and the General Assembly goes the way the public goes. So you have a divided public on that. Our colleagues are divided on that issue. We have strong opponents, strong opponents, and we'll see where that goes. So neither myself or Leader Shikachi could predict where that's going to go today, and I think we're ultimately going to reflect the will of the citizens.
All right, before we get this thing worked out, let's get this straight. There are opponents and opponents. No, there are proponents and opponents, Mr. Speaker. There are those who favor and those who argue against. Little misspeak there. This is sneaky, not trustworthy. There are a lot of people looking to make a lot of money on pot in this state. And after the referendum in Massachusetts are poised to make sure that this legislation gets up, gets a hearing, and gets through. Now, the Speaker may have his own personal problems with it because I think a lot of people are squeamish about legalizing marijuana. Doing it through the legislature most likely would be a bad idea if, in fact, they're jump ball on it and waiting to get the pulse of the people on what basis, what poll, what criteria, what resource. If they really don't know what they should do, then they should ask us. We should have a referendum on this. Doesn't that make sense to you? All right. Fire deal has been ratified by the Council of the City of Providence. We have a couple of headlines on this. First, this is the first announcement, which came a little while back, and the second one is, well, the second headline is worth reading. Dan McGowan knows how to dig into that which is happening in the City of Providence. He always talks to Mr. Doughty and the mayor and tries to figure out, and the council, all of that. At least we've got the mayor here to, I should, oh, that was for you. Are you running?
No.
See, if I can't see, I can't think. Welcome, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Good to see you.
Good to see
This
you.
is about our 12th conversation on this firefighter
It's like Groundhog Day.
deal. Go backwards. Once upon a time, Mayor Elorza decided that he was going to take a bold act. Some would say shove down your throat, a change in the way we were doing business, moving from 4 platoons, shifts, if you will, to 3 platoons, shifts, if you will, and that created more havoc. Remind everybody what happened at the beginning.
The mayor had just taken office, and in less than 4 months, he had made huge decision, a faulty decision, to try and execute this plan to go from 4 shifts to 3 shifts. I warned him, I asked him to talk about it, I cautioned him.
And his motive,
I
remember,
told
was,
him
it was what? His motive was?
he wanted to save money. He was convinced that the shift from 4 to 3 would absolutely save money, a point which was never ever realized. I told him every step of the way, and I was right every step of the way, this is going to cost more money than it would if you just left it alone. And I was right.
His thinking was is that it had happened in North Kingstown.
Right.
A couple of years ago, when a contract kind of expired and was left untended, local government in North Kingstown was able to make this move from 4 shifts to 3 shifts. Now, first of all, I would think that anybody who just looks at this from a bird's eye view would say to themselves, North Kingstown is different from Providence.
Right.
Firefighting, operandi has got to be very different between the two communities. But what was glaring in this, for anybody who just took a quick peek at it, was that North Kingstown was out of contract and you guys were in one.
Precisely. The mayor was sold a bill of goods. He bears responsibility because he bought them. But he had a 2-bit lawyer giving him advice who had lucked out in North Kingston. And they actually sent out sales pitches to all the municipal leaders in the state trying to get them to buy onto this. And Alonzo was the only one foolish enough to try it.
It turned into a litigation disaster. We'll pause here. We'll come back and we'll talk about how the two sides actually came together. And then later we'll talk about the bill due, because that's not yet resolved. Stay with us. Welcome back. Paul Doughty, the Firefighter Union President, is my guest, and we last left the conversation with the, what happened in the early part of the dispute with the Firefighter Union in Providence, and the mistake and the calculation that was made by Mayor Alorza, which turned out to be a faulty one. Him thinking that he could extend and lengthen the work week for firefighters by minimizing the shift, trying to bring you up to some other kind of national standard versus what was in the contract, was something that he could do. State legislation allows for a city to make management decisions in terms of how you operate, but anything that is kind of incumbent to the contract has to be negotiated. He never negotiated with you his goal.
Right. He had just
He just kind of laid it down. Said, I can do
and
this,
he said, I'll
and we'll
pause
talk
it
about
for
it
a
later.
while and we can talk about it. So
Right.
under state law, there's a couple things we have to do to dot our I's and cross our T's so we don't waive any of our rights. We did that, but we were never going to agree to work 14 more hours a week for not the same amount of pay. I'm not going to work at a second lower rate of pay,
Right.
Especially when the contract clearly states how much we are paid.
So it's almost, I feel if you're watching this kind of conversation for the first time, you'll feel like we're kind of rushing through. I have to guard against that because we've had so many conversations about this. But in essence, he made a mistake, and
Huge.
and he had to walk it back. And in the meantime, he's seeking, you're seeking redress in the courts, and this thing went for a year.
Yeah, almost 18 months.
18. Well, we're still not completely resolved.
No, not even close.
So I still think the saga is that long, but this did happen late 15.
Right, August of 15 was when it went into effect.
Okay, so all of this finally got resolved a few months ago
Yes.
between you and the mayor.
Correct.
Had to be ratified by the city council.
Right.
And finally got passed, less one councilor who thinks that the thing is just not right. And we'll have to get Councilman Igliozzi in here at some time to talk about that. But what it does do is put you back to 4 shifts.
Yes.
What else does it do?
It gives us a 5-year contract, so we have a 5-year CBA. If the law doesn't violate it. Gives us some protections, increases some of our co-pays, gives us raises, it gives us some ability to predict what's going to happen in our lives after the chaos he's caused over the last year.
If you were just rolling around through the collective bargaining agreement, that's what a CBA is.
Sorry.
Prior to him kind of having this political Tourette's moment where he just kind of burped up this change, is the old deal, and then are they still compatible? Are firefighters in general pleased with what they have?
They are. I think the biggest difference, the only difference that sticks out is the reduction of the fire companies on the east side. So we reduced manning in this 5-year agreement. But we had done it before under Tavares, so it had always been a give and take, and it deals with public safety, it deals with our safety, so it's always this kind of discussion, and oftentimes we're sitting on different sides of the table arguing about protecting the public, arguing about protecting the firefighters. So in this case, that was the only real concession from the firefighter side.
We have a couple of fire stations that have shut down.
That's right.
We have a headline on that, and there we go. I think that's what the headline says. As you know, I can't see anything today, so it's all a complete guess. What is your perspective on the reality of the citizen safety right now?
The companies that closed were in an area that had a high density of fire coverage. So the models that we looked at, the consultants that we engaged advised us that it would have a minimal effect. Now, it depends if it's happening to you on whether you agree that it's minimal or not. If it's your house that's on fire, if it's your loved one that's having a heart attack. But by the same token, I realize we can't have a fire station on every corner, so there has to be some middle ground. We think this is close, but only time will tell.
Where are we in terms of the number of firefighters that we should have and we do have?
We have 330 firefighters sworn, on duty, employed right now, and we should have somewhere on the order of 450. So we're down on...
That's 120 short of what is what?
Ideal,
Projected, but not budgeted.
I think 80 more, 330 plus the 80, so it'd be 410 are budgeted, and then we're still going to need more above that if your goal is to reduce overtime. And remember, that's what started this whole discussion. And the evidence and the budget's going to be crystal clear. He never saved a penny, and he was never gonna with this plan. And in fact, the damage done is going to take us 2 to 3 years to unwind in terms of callback costs.
Good point, because as we were recollecting why this whole thing started, because you were undermanned, a lot of people were doing overtime.
Right, and I tried to tell them,
and
do the math.
Do the math, meaning what?
It's easy to look at the fire department and try to look at it in an efficiency model, but it's not. It's a response model. So if you take regular business economics or analytics and try to apply it to the fire department, you think that you could just keep cutting and cutting and cutting, and that's not true. And it's shown. So there's a relationship between the total number of employees and the minimum staffing number. That relationship is what, and only those two factors are going to drive overtime costs. If you don't have a ratio or a relationship that you understand between those two numbers, you won't have any idea what the overtime cost would be, and it was clear he had no understanding of that.
He thought he was going to be able to make that ratio better by going to 3 shifts from 4.
Right, he thought he could have the extra firefighters on that 4th shift rolled into the 3rd, but he didn't understand a lot of the nuances that go on into that calculation, because he shouldn't be meddling in public safety. He just got there 5 months as mayor, and he made this major decision that's going to end up costing the taxpayers $20 to $30 million by the time we're done.
Okay, well, that's the point that I think everyone needs to know. They got a new deal. For the most part, it's operational, correct?
Going forward, yes.
Going forward. But there's this little thing, and that is that your pay was cut significantly. Well, actually, for the time that you had to do the extra hours under the new shift, there was, because you weren't playing ball with him, there was a dispute on second one about what your compensation should be for the additional hours.
Right.
He gave you 8% as kind of a down payment on what he knew eventually would have to be much more.
Well, I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but during a hearing we had last week, they admitted on the record that was to get us to agree, it wasn't to compensate us. So I can go back to my statement that I had made earlier with you that we got no pay, because now that's what he's saying in the arbitration.
You were saying
hearing.
back in the day, we're not going to take the money.
Right.
But you guys did, because it was in your checks.
I can't get it out. But at the last hearing, they said it wasn't to pay us for those hours, it was to encourage us to settle, which makes no sense. But their statement was, we didn't pay him any extra, because we don't have to pay him any extra. That's the rub.
Okay, well, guess what? There's going to be a resolve, and Paul's got a number that may make you choke. Stay with us. This little discussion we had about compensation with the firefighter union during this whole duress period of the movement from the 4 shifts to the 3 shifts, and the final, reconciliation of it is really important. What you're saying is that Brett Smiley, a former administration guy, now working for the Raimondo administration,
Right.
Testified in the middle of all this rigmarole in the
Last
city
week.
of Providence and said, what about the 8% raise that Mayor Lorza gave you in the middle of this?
He said it wasn't compensation for those 14 hours. It was money to get us, to incentivize us to come to an agreement, which makes no sense to me.
Part of what he's saying that is because he's probably trying to establish some groundwork that says, even though you had to work 14 hours weekly more, you weren't entitled to anything.
I don't disagree with that.
You don't disagree that that's what his goal is?
That your analysis might be right.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's probably why he's doing that. The truth be told, no one's going to buy that. No arbitrator's going to buy that. No judge is going to buy that. You've done some math on what the firefighters are owed from this controversial period of the move to 3 shifts from 4. What's the number?
If you take the extra 14 hours every week times 52 weeks times the number of firefighters times the length of time, 18 months or so, we have a price tag of $13 million. And I warned him. I warned him he was going to owe us this. And
Well,
that it
we
was gonna
talked
be a
about
lot of
10 to
money.
$20 million, so 13 is modest. There's no way in God's green earth that the firefighters are going to get $13 million.
Don't underestimate me.
I don't know if that was Eastwood or Trump. I'm not sure. Or Meryl Streep. I'm not sure. Well, data is data. Hours performed are hours performed, and labor decisions generally don't screw people from working.
Not on their hourly rate in particular. I mean, it's the base of the employer-employee relationship.
Are you open to negotiation on that number?
We'd set up a convenient payment plan.
Oh, you're on your game today, Paul. The city's got a problem.
Yes.
Because $13 million could put the city close to bankruptcy. Close.
Yes.
So, you've got to be deft with this, because the city goes to, listen, the mayor is not a very smart negotiator. He's already said under no circumstances ever will the city go bankrupt.
Right. He's put himself in a box. But let me tell you one thing that would go a lot further than I think most people would think I would say, is that I think it starts with saying, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I think that would buy a lot of goodwill. Right now, there's none.
Even though the deal's done.
Yeah. He's never said that. We had a fire lieutenant rescue a man from his burning house off duty the other day. Not one thank you, not one acknowledgement. So
It was a hero's move, for no
right,
doubt.
heroic. A good friend of mine, heroic move. Balls of steel to pull that off.
Why, do you think it's because of the bad feelings about the deal, or just because he doesn't have that kind of thing about him?
Both. I think it's compounded. But if you want to make a deal, you got to have a relationship first.
So I'm sorry might take it from 13 to what? 12.5?
Maybe. See if he means it or not.
I wish it was also funny, but if you've been following the story, you realize it has been one silly decision after the next by the mayor. And the mayor's more than welcome to come here and talk to me about how smart he was to the whole thing and what he's going to do to save the taxpayers. 10 seconds. Does this end well?
No, I think his absence of any response to this speaks volumes. The silence is deafening.
All right. We'll see you in the next chapter.
Yes, sir.
All right. Final word and we come back. Stay with us. You know about that firefighter back pay deal is that the courts will make the decision. You know, Paul Doughty has no urgency other than cash flow for his firefighters. The mayor's going to get a court decision, and at some point he's going to have to, make an offer that's legitimate. The courts are going to be tough, so stay tuned on that. See you on the radio at 3 tomorrow on WPRO. See you tomorrow night too. Bye.